Hi, my name is Kelly Rankin.
And I'm Jessica Giffen, and we're substance abuse prevention specialists out of the Office of Student Safety and Wellness.
Today we're here to talk to you about the new 2021 marijuana legislation and what it means for students. Let's talk about the role of the substance abuse prevention specialist in Fairfax County. We are part of the Office of Student Safety and Wellness. Each pyramid has a SAPS that covers the high school, middle school, and elementary school. We provide group and individual education for alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs for students, parents, and the community. We provide both discipline and non-discipline referrals. A discipline referral would be if the student violated the student rights and responsibilities, also known as the SR&R, and a non-discipline would be if a student or a parent or even the student's counselor would reach out for help. We will assess the student to get a better understanding of their substance use. If necessary, we will refer to the Fairfax County Community Services Board, also known as the CSB. They have an adolescent substance abuse prevention program. Most importantly, we are here to build positive relationships with students, staff, parents, and the community. This is all about prevention. In order for us to meet with the student, we will have to have parent permission. So what does the new cannabis law mean? So here's a little history that got us to where we are today. In 2017, a bill was passed for patients suffering from epilepsy to be allowed to access CBD and THCA. THCA comes in oils and balms. In 2018, less than a year later, the law changed so that patients suffering from any diagnosed condition or disease, not just epilepsy, could access CBD and THCA oil. Then in May 2020, Governor Northam signed a bill decriminalizing simple marijuana possession and enacted a civil penalty no more than $25. Before, the fine was a maximum of $500 and a maximum 30-day jail sentence for the first offense and a Class 1 misdemeanor. In November of 2020, Northam signed a bill that prohibited law enforcement officers from stopping, searching, or seizing a person or place if they believed they smelled marijuana. In April 2021, Northam signed a bill making Virginia the first southern state to legalize marijuana. In July 2021, the law went into effect, allowing people 21 years and older to possess and use marijuana. So here's a breakdown of the law. As of July 1st, it is legal for people 21 and older to possess and use up to 1 ounce of marijuana. Selling marijuana is illegal, but you may gift up to 1 ounce to a person 21 or older. It is illegal to consume marijuana in public or offer as a gift in public. The penalties are more significant for having larger amounts than 1 ounce. A person may have up to 4 plants, provided they are labeled with the grower's identification number and the plants cannot be visible from the public street. Precautions have to be taken to prevent unauthorized access to minors. Retail sales are expected to begin in 2024. So here is the law as it pertains to those under 21. No person under 21 can consume or possess or attempt to possess any marijuana. Any juvenile who is in violation is also subject to a $25 fine, and the court will order the accused to enter treatment or an education program. So here is the law as it pertains to school grounds. Consuming or possessing marijuana in any amount in or on public school grounds is illegal. Any person convicted of this violation is guilty of a Class 2 misdemeanor. So what happens if my child is caught at school or at a school event? For any violation of alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, other drugs, including over-the-counter medications, and vaping any substance, school disciplinary action may be taken regardless of the student's age. Students will be referred to the FCPS, alcohol, tobacco, and other drug, also known as ATOD, with the SAPs assigned to their school. All disciplinary action is at the discretion of the principal, including referral to the division superintendent. Once the parent or guardian has signed the permission slip, the SAPs will meet with the student and conduct a brief assessment to determine if additional help is needed. A referral could be made to an outside resource, such as the Fairfax County Community Services Board, at the parent or guardian's expense. For high school students, first offense could result in suspension from student activities for 7 to 14 days. This includes participation in sports, clubs, or being a spectator or an audience member. For a second offense within 12 months, could result in the same suspension for an additional 14 to 21 days. If there is a belief that a student's involvement with marijuana reaches the standard of a felony, the principal must report to law enforcement. So let's take a look at some of the concerning factors. Recent research suggests that smoking high-potency marijuana every day could increase the chances of developing psychosis by nearly 5 times compared to people who have never used marijuana. So we can see over the years the increase in THC levels. So this is a concern about developing psychosis. The slang term for this is green out. All right, so let's take a look at some more concerning factors about cannabis. Again, the THC levels continue to climb, causing increased cases of psychosis and extreme paranoia. Short-term includes dry mouth, increased heart rate. Long-term, breathing difficulties, compromised immune system. Psychological effects include memory recollection, anxiety, panic, psychosis. Long-term effects, decline in IQ, irritability, disrupted and impaired brain development. We reached out to the Virginia Department of Health to provide us with marijuana-related data on ER visits and urgent care visits among 12 to 18-year-olds in Fairfax County. As you can see, the data in 2020 is a little higher than 2019. The data for 2021 isn't in yet. We're just up to August. This is important data for us to follow and compare the pre and post legislation. It's important to note that the FBI recently reported that due to marijuana legalization, the dealers are looking at other avenues to make money by selling fentanyl-laced pills. There has been an increase in our youth overdosing as a result. Now I'm going to pass this over to Jessica, and she's going to talk about the other states.
Thank you, Kelly. So as Kelly mentioned, Virginia is the first southern state to legalize marijuana. However, it's certainly not the first state to do so. Since 2012, 18 states in total have legalized marijuana for both medical and recreational use, with the first 2 states being Washington and Colorado. So what does post-legalization actually look like? Let's take a look at what other states have learned since legalization. So looking at Washington State in particular, statistics from the Washington State Health Youth Survey in 2018 shows that the percentage of students' perception of risk of harm from marijuana has dropped pretty significantly over the years, especially since legalization. So why is this important? Studies show that a student's perception of the risks associated with substance use has been an important factor of whether or not they engage in substance use. Many students make decisions regarding substance use without complete information about the risks associated with their choices. So our students who perceive high risk of harm are less likely to use marijuana than students who perceive low risk of harm. So with the decrease of perception of risk of harm associated with legalization, what does this mean for marijuana use with our students? According to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health in 2018, rates of marijuana use for teens 12 and older have been on a steady incline since legalization in the following states: Alaska, Massachusetts, Oregon, Maine, California, Colorado, Nevada, and Washington. Simply put, statistics are showing that as students' perception of harm decreases, marijuana use is increasing. Now, what does this look like in school settings post-legalization? Let's take a look at Colorado's numbers. This graph shows that marijuana-related suspensions in Colorado have increased significantly in the recent years since legalization. The percentage of school suspensions for marijuana is 23%, which is the highest number for any school offense in Colorado schools. We've provided you with a lot of facts, and you may be wondering, what now? It is essential that you know how to recognize the main signs of marijuana use in teens to help keep your students safe and healthy. So some visible signs of use may be red or bloodshot eyes, problems with muscle coordination, delayed reaction times, both mentally and physically, a strong musky odor that is similar to the scent of a skunk, although it is important to note that some cannabis products, such as edibles and some oils, will not have a distinct odor. You'll also find shifts in some emotional states, so different strains have various effects on the body. So for an example, an indica strain has more of a relaxing effect and acts more like a sedative, whereas sativa strain has more of a stimulating effect on the body and can boost energy levels. So depending on the strain, one could experience mood swings, laziness, tiredness. They may appear anxious and have an increased heart rate. A frequent question we get from parents and guardians is what they should be looking for when it comes to accessories and paraphernalia. Here you'll see some examples of what that looks like. You'll see handpipes, joints, blunts, edibles, such as brownies, cookies, gummies, lollipops. I want to point out that notice how similar the packaging looks to real candy. It's important to really look at that. Also noted is oils and THC cartridges. So now that we know some things to look for, how do you talk to your students about marijuana? We know talking to students can seem scary and overwhelming. We recommend beginning by creating a supportive environment where you can engage in an open conversation. So ask your student what they already know about marijuana and marijuana laws. You may be surprised by what they already know and what they tell you. Be non-judgmental. So keep an open mind. When a child feels judged or condemned, they will be less receptive to the message. Be an active listener. Focus on health and not punishment. And make sure and scan the QR code for more great tips on how to navigate a conversation with your student around marijuana use. So we've offered you a lot of really great information today. And as Kelly mentioned in the beginning, each school pyramid has a SAPS assigned to provide substance abuse prevention, education, and intervention services. To reach the SAPS at your student's school, you can contact the Student Safety and Wellness Office at 571-423-4270, or you can ask the school's front office receptionist for the contact of your SAPS assigned to your school pyramid. For more resources in the community, the Fairfax Falls Church Community Services Board provides a variety of services to include services for your youth and their family with mental health concerns and substance use disorders. We've also included a list of mental health emergency numbers. And here you will find a QR code for the full transcript of the new marijuana legalization. And for any questions about the ATOD regulations and the SRNR, or if you have further questions about the SAP program, please feel free to contact our SAW coordinator, Stefan Mescal. We know that was a lot of information to take in, but it's really important as parents and guardians and community members to know the upcoming trends, laws, what to look for, and how to communicate with our students.
It really was a lot of information. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the SAW coordinator, Stefan Mescal, or the SAPS in your school for additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you.